Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Gonna read through the majority of this article. There's a link in the description. It's in regards to the female scumbag that you see in front of you, Hannah Sage McMillan, who is a 21-year-old mother from North Dakota, and she's been sentenced to life in prison, albeit with the possibility of parole. And she's been sentenced for the murder of her 1-month-old son in a hotel back in 2019, and she killed the boy, the baby boy, by smothering the child with a pillow. So she's entered a plea. The article goes into quite a bit of a detail in regards to the plea. I won't go through all of that, but it's a special type of plea called an Alford plea, which in effect isn't quite like a guilty plea, but it kind of is. So I don't know, it's like a hybrid plea is my understanding, but effectively it's allowed her to be sentenced as if it were a guilty plea. So we're going to have a look through some of the details. So I'll provide a trigger warning at this point. This is going to give some details about the discovery of the child and the child's death, the 1-month-old baby boy, at the hands of his mother. Officers with the Williston Police Department in April 2019 responded to a 911 call concerning a baby that was not breathing at the 4 Points by Sheraton, located on the 2nd Avenue West. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders found the infant unresponsive inside a room rented by the mother, McMillan, and her husband, Tank McMillan. The baby was reportedly found underneath a pile of pillows. Prosecutors reportedly said that one of the pillows located near the boy's body had what appeared to be the imprint of a small human face. You know, the baby's face having had the pillow pushed into him. Paramedics reportedly tried to resuscitate the child and transported him to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. The child reportedly sustained severe bruises that covered most of his body, including his stomach, back, sides, upper buttocks, and feet. After smothering the child, the mother allegedly went to the pool within the hotel. She and her husband were both taken into custody and initially charged with 1 count each of Class A felony child abuse. According to Williams County Assistant State's Attorney Nathan Madden, McMillan, the mother, confessed to killing the child during a subsequent interview with investigators. She reportedly told police that when the child would not stop crying, she attempted to quiet him by squeezing him. When that didn't work, she allegedly placed several pillows over and around the body's face and left them there until he ceased crying. The mother reportedly said she did not want the baby's cries to wake her husband. An autopsy performed by the North Dakota Medical Examiner's Office reportedly determined that the child's death was a homicide caused by forcible smothering. Following the release of the medical examiner's report, the charges against the mother were upgraded to murder. The father, Tank McMillan, pleaded guilty to felony child abuse in 2020 and was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison and an additional 5 years of probation. In addition to the prison sentence, the judge ordered Tank McMillan, the father, to remain on parole for the... I made a mistake there. In addition to the prison sentence, Judge Johnson ordered McMillan to remain on parole for the remainder of her life and to register as an offender against children. I'm a little bit confused there because she does have life in prison. She has life in prison. So I am a little bit confused by that last sentence. Perhaps it meant to refer to Tank McMillan, the father. That's my take. So the father was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison for felony child abuse. The mother, I'm going to say thankfully, has been given a life prison sentence, albeit with parole. But personally, I believe the death penalty ought to apply for murder of a child, and if not, life in prison, and certainly a very long sentence for killing her child. How disgusting, how despicable. Seemingly, she killed the child because the child was crying. She wasn't able to stop the cries. Trigger warning. She says that she tried to squeeze the baby, first of all, which seemingly led to severe bruises that covered most of his body. And then when that didn't work, she smothered him, covered him, his face, his body with pillows until he stopped crying. And she did so, from what she says, so that the baby's crying didn't wake up the father. I mean, it just boggles the mind. It just boggles the mind. I don't know if we can assume that she's insane. I don't know if we can assume that. I guess we can't, because that it isn't mentioned that there was a plea, an insanity plea. It's not mentioned within the article, so presumably she's perfectly sane and just a fucking evil scumbag. So there's that article. I mean, what do we do here? We can't really say condolences to the family. She is the family. The father was guilty of allowing this to happen, felony child abuse. He's jailed. Thankfully, seemingly, there's no siblings of the young child. And just to clarify, we've not been given the name of the 1-month-old boy. I guess it's possible that he didn't even have a name.